Hi, welcome back to Creative Tuesdays with Liz. I am very excited again to be here this week. We have another special video planned for today. Today we will be creating an animal-inspired face mask. And we'd like to thank the Eris Foundation and C. Lancaster for promoting this video to kind of help our community to get a little bit of awareness for being healthy, wearing your mask, and staying well. So we just want to thank them for that, and also for Learn TV for airing our videos for more people to be able to see. So we want to thank them, and we're just so glad that we're able to do this and share this with everybody, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too. But today we will be creating an animal-inspired face mask. Again, you'll have your mask, whatever kind of mask that you'd like. It can be a color, a solid color. It can be plain white. And it will be easier to create or paint our design onto our face mask if we kind of have a form shape to put it on, because the face masks are made to kind of go on our faces, so they don't really lay flat, and it will just be easier to add your design to it if you have a form around it. You can use either paint and paintbrushes and water. You can use paint pens, fabric pens. You can also use permanent markers. So that's another thing that you can use. And to make your form, you'll just get a towel, a small hand towel, a plastic grocery bag. You can ball it up, put it in there, put a big clamp on it, and then you can put your face mask on it and just kind of get that good and spread out so that you'll be able to see your design and get it onto the mask there. So, all right. So again, this is going to be an animal, and you can think about what kind of animal you like. On the video, we'll do a lion or tiger, like a large cat animal. So we'll do that. And just to give you some more ideas, this one was done with permanent markers, just Sharpies here. And so I hope everybody can tell what this is. This is a hippopotamus mouth face mask. So, with their big teeth, since they're herbivores and everything. So I think that looks pretty neat. I like these face mask ideas. I really think it's neat. And you can wear it when you wear them out and people see it. You can be proud as you let them know that you created this and painted this yourself. So that's something really neat to do too. So you can draw out in pencil first, or you can just kind of start painting it out, or using your markers or paint pens, however you want to. I'm going to be using paint for this one. So it will definitely be easier, and your image will look much clearer and crisp if you paint on a dry face mask. If your face mask is wet and you get ready to do your paint pens or your paint or markers, it's going to kind of spread out and kind of bleed together and have more of a tie-dyed effect and everything. But so the first thing I will add when creating the lion mouth is the nose. I'm going to start with his nose. So I'll wet my brush. And if you have your brush pretty good and wet, it will help the paint spread out better, just kind of spread better. So you'll get your brush wet, and then I'm going to do a black nose. You could want to do a pink or something nose for your lion or tiger, but I'm going to do a black nose. And so I'm just going to kind of start down here. I don't know if you guys can see. So there's kind of the top of his nose, and we're going to just draw it down, kind of give him that big lion or tiger nose. And I'll wet my brush a little bit more. Just like I said, it kind of helps it to spread out just a little bit better. So there is the nose for the lion. And I'm going to just use my black and kind of just do an outline for the rest of his mouth. So he's going to have his cheeks here. I'll do his mouth down. That will be his cheeks. And see, my brush is not very wet, and you can see the difference on how the paint spreads out if you have your brush kind of really just good and damp, good and wet enough for that. So then we'll just kind of, so these are his little mouth cheeks. So there we go. And then we need to make his chin, the bottom part of his mouth here. And again, I'm just kind of going and outlining this with a little bit of black just to kind of get it in. And then it'll just kind of give it some good definition and dividing lines too when we get ready to paint or color things in. And then his little mouth is open a little bit. Alright, so that's his basic mouth shape with his nose and his little mouth cheeks, his chin. And then I'm going to have some fur kind of coming off on the side of his face. I'll paint some fur down here. So there's that. That'll be some kind of fur for him. Alright, so I'm going to now kind of color in his mouth, his little cheek area and everything. And I'm going to kind of just make that be a tannish kind of color. So I'll use some white. I like to kind of mix my colors up pretty good and kind of get it to look the way that I want it to look. Because sometimes it's hard to find a bottle of paint of exactly what you want. But so you can always go in and just kind of mix you a little something up until you get it to look the way you want it to. So I'm going to do kind of a tannish color for his mouth and cheeks. And again, I'm going to make sure my brush is good and wet so it'll kind of spread good. And just kind of make a smoother line. And I'm just going to paint in this area. And you see, we're getting to the top right up here where the creases are. And so that might be a little bit difficult, but since it's right at the top, that's not going to flatten out on your face anyway. So those little creases will kind of stay there, but you might just want to, you can just stick your brush up in there or your marker or paint pens and just kind of get as much as you can up top. You want to first. All right, and then we will wet our brush some more and keep filling it in. Kind of going around his nose here. Lions and tigers, I mean, they are such just amazing animals, I think. I just love how they're made. Every bit, the way that their lips are that they move, and their huge paws, everything. They're really majestic kind of animals. I really like them. So yeah, I'll mix up some more of the color that I like here. And a little bit more white in it. And again, I'm gonna make sure my brush is wet good, just so it'll spread the paint out kind of smoother. And you can go right to the edge and stop at the outline, or you can just kind of paint on top of the outline if you want to. And then you'll have a little bit of a definition of a line there. that you'll be able to see. So I'm going to fill in all of this area, that tan color. And if you're using paint pens or permanent markers, you won't have to worry about wetting them or anything like that. So that's just with the paint. We'll come right on over that line. There we go. Getting it rounded. And mix up some more. And then I won't have to keep on mixing to get that same color back. I'll just have a good bit mixed up right here on my little tray. And you can use a paint tray, you can use a paper plate, anything to put your paints out on. And then I'm going to make sure my brush is still good and wet, and then get some more painted on there around the nose. And these little crease folds at the top, so if you need to kind of pull it back up after you've got painted inside the creases up here at the top, and just kind of keep it straightened out as much as you can. And I'm going to paint right up to the line of his nose. There we go. So we've got his mouth and cheek part done. Now I'll do his chin down there. And I'll just use the same color and make sure my brush is wet. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of paint over the line. And it'll kind of just blend it a little bit better. But you'll still be able to see it. It'll kind of just be a nice outline. A bit of a clearer outline for you. There we go. All right. So if you wanted to make yours a lion without stripes, you can get, I would choose a different color than what you did his mouth, nose, cheek parts with. So I would go a little bit darker, and I don't have any orange paint, but I can mix some red and yellow and that would make orange. Or you can use some brown, darker brown, and just kind of paint back over here. And the fur is just going to kind of be kind of whimsical. So you won't have to put that in, paint that in so solid. But so if you're doing a lion and you want to do brown, you can do brown. If you're doing a tiger and you want to paint the rest of his fur down here orange, then, like I said, if you don't have an orange, you can mix red and yellow and that makes orange. Or you can just use some orange paint or an orange paint pen, or if that's what you have. So my yellows are kind of a bit more goldish yellow, so it's kind of looking a little bit more of a melony color than an orange, but it's kind of orange enough. So we'll come here, we'll get our orange, and we'll just paint some fur. You might want to kind of bring it out in some triangle ends down here when you paint the fur, just so that when we paint the black stripes on top of it, you'll be able to kind of see clearly what it is there. So we'll paint this, kind of come to some little triangle points. get that done in. I'll wet my brush some to spread this paint out pretty good. And yours, if you're doing a tiger, won't have the brown underneath it, like I did to show the lion, how that would be done. So you'll paint your orange fur there, kind of coming. You'll do it on each side. And then you can get your black and add some stripes in there. So we'll use black. I'll get my brush kind of wet there. And then we'll make some stripes. Ooh. Here we go. So there we go. And then also, you might want to put some whiskers on your lion or tiger. So you can do that again. You can put some, get your black, and you can just make some whisker lines coming down. There we go. And let's see, and then you can do the same thing to the other side here. Add you some whiskers. If you wanted it to be more of a lionish color, then we'd fill in some more tan down there and bring it up to his face. And then get the whiskers on that side. And then you'll just want to let it dry really good before you take it off your form to wear. So I would love, and I know everyone would love to see these masks if you've created one. So please put it on and take a picture, and it can be just the mask part of your face if you didn't want your whole face to be posted on social media. But take a picture of your mask and post it on social media and tag us, the Lancaster County Council of the Arts, in it so that we can see these masks that we're creating together. And again, a special thanks to the Eris Foundation and See Lancaster, and also to Learn TV. Next week, we will come together and create a guitar project. So you will need some paper, some thick paper, some yarn or string, some construction paper, glue, scissors, and your favorite type of coloring utensil, whatever you like. And I will see you then. Thanks.